I've got a beautiful, super gorgeous patent leather croc embossed vintage bag over here with gold hardware, and this is vintage. Vintage bags are really, really beautiful, and the craftsmanship of vintage bags are just beyond compare. Aside from the fact that they don't go for quantity, but quality. Unlike the handbags of today, they are just mass producing and they turn out to be flimsy and just not of superior quality. That's why vintage bags are growing more and more popular. One funny story is that I'm the only one in the family who is into vintage stuff, and my sisters are actually they are teasing me like, okay, you have a lot of vintage stuff, and then what if the vintage owners, of course, most of them are dead now. What if they come after you? What if their spirits are attached to your jewelry or your bags and things like that? And why would you want something that is old, that is dusty, that's been, stored for so many years and owned by, people that you don't know? And they've always been, very well, I wouldn't say not supportive, but they were just like raising their eyebrows because why are you into vintage stuff, Anyway, and then the other day, I had I got an email, not an email, a message from my other sister saying she would like me to get a vintage bag for her. And not just the Gucci because she wanted the Gucci vintage bag, but any vintage bag because she realized now that the vintage bags are a lot more structured and a lot more durable because I probably give her like 5 or 6 handbags every year. But then she all aside from that, she also buys her bags, but then they always break. She says that for some reason they don't work. They either break or I don't know. They just don't last. I don't know what she's doing with her bag because, she goes to the office every single day. She fills it up with, water, whatever you call it, her lunch and everything. So she does not really baby her bags. So they get bitten up. And so she needs a very, very durable and indestructible handbag. And now she said that she's had Michael Kors and Coach and some other brands. Now she's looking into vintage bags now. Well, I told her vintage bags are typically small bags, like mini bags. And guys, this is going to be a storytelling time. So if you're not interested to, if you you don't like to listen to my blah blah, you can just forward it and get on with it. But anyway, so so I sent her a message this morning and I told her, why are you into vintage stuff now? And she said, yeah, I realized that vintage stuff are really, really good. And they don't break easily and they are, meant to last. So she wants me to get her one. So I told her that there are no big bags, no work bags when it comes to vintage. Well, there might be a few or several, but not a lot because women before did not have big bags because nowadays we carry the whole house with us. These are just like tiny bags for just clubbing or parties and so on and so forth. So I told her that I can get you glamorous bags, vintage bags, but not a workhorse. I mean, a work tote bag because that's what she wanted. Anyway, so here it is. Isn't that beautiful? This is red, a dark red, and it's just beautiful. Okay, so this is a two-way handbag. You can wear it as a shoulder bag, but definitely not a crossbody bag. Look at that. There is no tarnishing at all. The hardware is just super shiny. And you can wear it as handheld, and you can just tuck in um, the long straps. And if you want it long strap, you can just do this. So it's beautiful. It's just convertible, and I love it. And it's in mint condition. Okay, so this brand is called the Morris Moskowitz or MM bag. And I've been reading the history, just bits and pieces, that he used to work for what company was that? Oh, he was associated with the founding of the Garay. I have Garay vintage handbags too, and that Morris Moskowitz was into quality. He wanted to make bags that were of superior quality. So he was out and about in Italy and France looking for, you know, ideas, and and he was known to have manufactured bags with, fabric bags, especially fabric bags, and then it he established his own company in 1948. So, and until 1980, until it was bought by Dun& Burke in 1980. So this bag was between 1948 and 1980. So it's a vintage bag. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. All right. So this is a faux crocodile embossed. This is, of course, a crocodile embossed leather. You can just see that everything is just uniform, so it can't be a real skin. And there are no scuffings at all. So this bag has held up very, very well. And of course, with all the Gucci padlock bags that are coming out now, and mini bags, this is beyond compare. The quality is just superb. And um, and it has a burgundy lining, and the famous MM logo, Morris Moscovitz. And I think this one says Italy here, if I'm not mistaken. There's a little thing here that says Italy. That could be Italy. Yeah, because that could be Italy, because it is in gold, um, stamping. Okay, so there is just one open pocket here, and one zipped compartment. Oh, there's also there's a nickel. Okay, in the other side. Okay, so look at that. It's really, really gorgeous. And I think this is it's like the accordion style still. It's still accordion style, but more structured. And I'm eyeing the Gucci padlock, but I'm still not sure about that, because it's not a classic. I'm not sure if that's gonna come back again, because the Gucci classics, like the classic, the monogram canvas, will always come back. So, and it's outrageous because the prices are like triple or quadrupled since the Gucci relaunched its monogram handbags again. Yeah, so this is a tiny handbag. It's a small shoulder bag. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like probably 8 inches in length and 7 inches in height, and probably 3 inches in width. And you can just see that it's just gorgeous, really, really gorgeous. And what else? And I also have another handbag from this designer. I just wanted to feature this because this is my newest purchase online. And I have this. It's from the same designer. And I also featured this in my black bag collection. If you haven't seen that, and if you're bored, you have nothing to do, You can probably take a look at that. So what comes, what, okay, so this is a black, small, it's a tiny shoulder bag. But this hardware, this design is like Gucci-ish and Celine-ish. I'm waiting for another handbag, so I will make a video as soon as I receive it. I ordered a vintage Celine handbag that has a horse bit hardware. So I really don't know who copyrighted the horse bit hardware. I think it's Gucci. But there are a lot of vintage bag designers which have that kind of design. Like my Celine that's coming has a horse bit design. So, and this is, there's no tarnishing at all, guys. There's no tarnishing at all. And the leather is super, super nice. You know, I was about to give this away. Good thing I kept it, because when I was looking at this bag online, I did my research and I was like, oh, I didn't know that it was sold in high end. This particular brand, Morris Moscovitz, was sold in high end department stores alongside Cocoret and other high end vintage, brands before. So this is, you can lift that and see, hardly any wear. And Morris Moscovitz, genuine leather. Okay, this is beautiful. There is no sign of just a tiny thing here. It's probably because I've been storing them cramped. And it's beautiful. And there's a pocket. Oh no, there's no pocket. I thought that was it's just a plain sim. I thought that was a pocket. And it's beautiful. The leather is super, super smooth. I love it. I love it. I just like this. I'm drawn to the bag's hardware, actually. So yeah, so these are two gorgeous handbags, and he also received a lot of honorary awards when it comes to I think Fashion Guild and accessories. He actually was awarded several awards because of his contribution to women's handbags. And yeah, so don't you just love it when men are fascinated? He had a wife, and yeah, so there you go. It's beautiful. They're just tiny though. I thought this was a bit bigger. It would have been perfect if it was, like in the medium size or large size. This would be perfect. I would be toting it around. But this looks very delicate. I mean, you can't just have this for ordinary use or everyday use. So there has to be an occasion. At least you go to church. If you're gonna, you have to be. This is a very classy handbag. This one, on the other hand, is for casual use. So it's just so tiny. I think if I probably get the tiny water bottle, it would fit in here. Okay, so hope you enjoyed it. And I know that everybody is jumping into the vintage wagon, bad wagon, or whatever you call it. So there are no more vintage bags when I go to thrift shops or flea market. It's like most of the vintage bags are like scraped off, because everybody knows now that vintage bags will one day be collectible. I have a lot of vintage bags, and I don't want to sell any of them. And I don't know. I'm hoping that they will have a value one day, but I just love them. I just want them to be in my collection. Okay, so, oh, I have been going on and on and on and on. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, bye.